talked about the Bacon Brothers last time, but I found out that you were actually in a soul band before that.
Well,
when you were younger?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I started out playing percussion. You know, I was playing conga drums, and I hung out at this place in Philly where I grew up. I grew up in Center City, Philadelphia. This place was in a part of Philly called Germantown. It was called Togetherness House, and it was like a kind of a community center, you know, where kids would go and put bands together or get draft counseling or drug counseling or whatever it happened to be. I joined a couple of bands there, and believe it or not, one of the bands was called Footloose.
No, it wasn't.
Story, yeah, but we're talking about like way before the movie, like 10 years before the movie or something.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, just a weird coincidence, and yeah, it was a singer named Chet Brown, and we were his backup band. It was Chet Brown and Footloose, and they.
Have you ever? I've never heard this before.
Well,
that's so funny.
I was saving it for you.
What
Kelly.
in the world? No, that's like that's a random name for a band, and then that's very random.
Yeah, and then there's this guy who was in the band, and I think he saw me someplace, or I was having a conversation with him. I ran into him, and he said to me, no, you weren't actually in Footloose. You were in some other bands, but you weren't actually in Footloose. And I was like, bro, I was in Footloose. I should know. But
don't you tell me what I was in. Yeah.
But yeah, he went back and checked the files and you know, called me up later and apologized. He said, oh yeah, actually you were in Footloose. I was like, I know.
Yeah. You're like, thanks, that was memorable. Thanks. Like, well, wait, you went back, speaking of Footloose, you went back to the school, right? For Footloose recently, right?
Yeah, there was the town where we filmed it, one of the towns, there was a couple towns all in and around the Salt Lake area, was Payson, Utah, and Payson High. The students from Payson High, for the 40th anniversary, sort of started this Bacon to Payson kind of campaign online where they were, you know, trying to get me to come, because they were going to actually tear the school down, or they were moving to a new school and they were going to get rid of that one. So they wanted to, I don't know, have me come out. And I came, and it was actually really fun. It was really hard because I was in the middle of shooting this TV show, and what happened? Oh, that's me?
It was like,
playing around.
It was a little different than the barn scene, but still just as solid. Yeah.
But you know, it was really worth it. The kids were great, and they had my locker where the character goes to his locker is still there. It's like kind of like a shrine. I mean, it was kind of weird, but it was great. It was great.
I think it's incredible. That's so cool. Yeah, and cool that you did it, because you were probably shooting or doing something around it. So it's cool that you.
Yeah, I was. But the cool thing was that we set it up as I have this charity called 6degrees.org, and we set it up as a kind of a community give back service. So along with me visiting, a bunch of people got together and built these kits to give to people that are in need in their community, and it was everyone was fantastic. So it was definitely worth it. It was a trip that was worth it.
Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia and helping people. That's incredible. Next up is Mystic River. Oh, this cast is incredible. Yeah. You, Sean Penn, Clint Eastwood. There was a lot of people in this.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'd say, like, looking at that, that's probably right at the top of the most fun. I mean, it's a very dark movie, but we had so much fun making it.
Yeah.
You know, Clint famously works very short days, so we just got a lot of hang time, you know, after work, and we had a blast. It was so much fun making it.
That's so interesting, because it's such a hard movie, like the topic. It's
it is. And you know, Eastwood didn't really want to rehearse. He
my kind of guy.
Yeah, he was not into rehearsing at all. In fact, I was doing a Boston accent, and we never talked about it before I started making the movie. And I did one take, and he came up to me and said, "So, doing an accent, huh?"
Oh, no.
And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Okay." And
just instilled a ton of confidence.
Yeah, right.
Funny.
Yeah, I know, it's terrifying.
Oh my God.
But so what we decided to do was rehearse on our own. So all of us, Lawrence Fishburne and Tim Robbins and Sean and myself, we would go into hotel rooms, Laura Linney and Marcia Gay Harden. We would run our scenes before work, just so that we knew what we were doing, you know, because we knew that we weren't going to get a chance to do it at work. But I'd say that not as a criticism, because as a director, he's great because he really expects you to come to work with your game jersey on it.
Yeah.
I like that, you know.
Yeah, it kind of is cool too. That's a cool scene too. It reminds me like when you're younger and like theater camps or you're like doing stuff like that and you all gather and you're preparing. Like it reminds me of like when we were younger and the reason why you wanted to do it in the first place. And you're all, that's an enormous cast too to just hang. If I were in that hotel and I passed that room, that'd have been nuts. Like all the people you just mentioned. It was such an incredible cast for y'all all just to get together and rehearse together.
Well, the funny thing is I came back to the hotel one night and there was a red rope around the hotel bar. And this had never happened before. And I figured they were having some kind of a private event or something like that. And there was a big security guard there. And this has been, we'd been at the hotel for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something. And I said, what's going on? What's happening tonight? And he goes, this is for you guys. Because just the fact that this cast was hanging out at this hotel had turned this actual hotel bar into some kind of a
place,
I don't know, like a place where it normally was not.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That would have, that's incredible. I would have really loved to have been there. You wouldn't have wanted me, I'd been like this. Okay, oh, this is good. Next, A Few Good Men. What a great film. Like one of the most famous scenes ever. Just intense courtroom scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times you have to repeat? That's what I don't like about acting.
Yeah, you got to repeat it.
That's why I'm more into musical theater. Yeah, because it's just one time.
Yeah, people are sometimes surprised when they come to a set and they say, oh, how come you're doing it again? Well, we'll be doing it all day. Yeah,
no.
I mean, it was great. It was a great script. You know, Aaron Sorkin and Rob Reiner directing, obviously Tom and Demi and Jack Nicholson, and I mean, on and on and on. Just really.
I know. I heard Jack Nicholson, the most famous part. He did it like a billion times.
He did it a billion times, and he did it great every time. And he had to do it. He did all his coverage on him, and then they turned around on all of us, and he kept doing it again and again for every one of us.
With the same intensity?
With the same intensity. You know, it really taught me a lot about, you know, how important it is to. You can look out for yourself, of course, but you got to give to your other actors. You really gotta be there because, you know, their reactions are going to make the scene work. You know, it's going to make your thing look better.
The chemistry of that and you playing off of each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was great. I mean, I think about all these movies. I'm so happy to have been in them.
Yeah, you're kind of talented.
Well, I mean, sometimes I go, well, how'd I get that gig? I don't know.
I know why. You're really good. Okay, next, this is insane. This is just for the hair. Beauty shop. Let's talk about that hair.
Yeah.
You sexy little beast, you.
I haven't often worn hair extensions.
Do you save this just for Kira on date nights? Is this what, yeah?
She was into it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Makes me like her more.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course the amazing Queen Latifah.
Oh, I love. Yeah.
So, I mean, one thing I remember, it's been a while since I've seen Beauty Shop, but one thing I remember is that the costumer came to me, and I just love this idea. I can't remember, I think it was a woman. She said, you know, how about if, like, he's got a certain look that's very specific for every day. So, like, one day he's kind of cowboy, and then one day he's kind of biker, and then one day he's kind of preppy. I thought that was such a funny idea, because, you know, we always think to ourselves, let's just have a look for the guy. But his look was like basically costume play.
Yeah.
You know?
It's fun though. It's interesting. I think it's a fun thing about a character too that is like a different level of hilarity that might have not been there had y'all not done that. Yeah.
I wish I could do more funny stuff. I love doing it, and you know, I'm often thought of as, you know, sort of a serious kind of actor, but it's really great, and it's something like Beauty Shop to be able to get to just be silly.
Those are my favorite actors that are the ones that have the best comedian comedic timing are the ones that are the serious ones. I like seeing people out of the pocket that you're normally seeing. That's like fun for us.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do plays in Venezuela? Is that when you started, when you were really young?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did some plays. I think my first play was when I was 6 years old, and I was supposed to be, oh, look at that. Already getting medals. You know, championship rings. That's
Can't
my first
stop, won't
play.
stop.
So no one has ever seen this picture. This
Is that a cigarette and alcohol?
Yes.
Sure.
And I'm in South America, you know.
Now the vest makes sense for your daughter. It's like it's all coming together.
So, exactly. So I can explain. Okay. So in Venezuela, performing arts is a mandatory class, right? Like you got to take an arts class. You're gonna dance, you're gonna sing, or you're gonna act, right? And so I did all of them, and in this acting class, our plays weren't like, you know, like an Easter play where we just hop around like, oh, my son and my daughter was a bunny this weekend, you know. It was like really metaphorical pieces that were like written, you know, in Venezuelan folklore. So I, in that, represented all the vices. So I had a suit and I had a cigarette and had a thing, and I was supposed to be kind of like the bad guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I only had one line, which was, and in the book, I tell this whole story really in depth. But I was supposed to come in, and like there was supposed to be one of my co-stars walk by, and I was supposed to kind of call on to her, and then supposed to be a joke, and then something happened, like, you know, the lights went on in the house, and I was able to see all of a sudden all the parents, all the teachers, everyone that came to the play. And in that moment, anybody would have broken character, but a teacher said like, hey, no matter what happens, you have to be this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So the lights went on, and everyone's like, what's happening? Like running around or whatever. And I somehow stayed in character, and I went like this to the audience, like a 6-year-old, like I was drunk. And then I just like went like this, and then the whole audience started laughing. And I'll never forget that moment.
The feeling?
Moment, I was like, oh, this is what I am.
Yeah.
I just want to be a part of whatever art form allows this audience to feel something.
And has that connection.
Oh, that connection where I would love to make you laugh and make you reflect and inspired, and by amplifying the stories of so many artists. So yeah, so that was a very big moment for me. So when I would do those plays, they were hilarious because I was so young, but I very quickly I was very comfortable on stage.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, don't worry, because I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then it came out of my mouth, I'm gonna be this actor and I'm gonna make this money, and like we're gonna do these things, and I had restaurants and things, and we're never gonna pay rent, and I'm gonna buy us a house. And my dad looked at me without hesitation, and he said, okay, mijo, you can do that. And he walked away with my mom. And I felt like he had just given me permission to do what I told him I was gonna do.
And also, a lot of parents in that situation do not respond like that.
Right.
You know, they go more negative or more realistic, especially if they're having a hard time. So it's a beautiful thing that he still saw that dream.
Yeah, he opened the door for me to kind of believe that whatever came out of my mouth, as delusional as it could be, that he saw it as a possibility. He allowed me to kind of run with it. And
he's a dreamer.
the first thing I need to do was speak English. I need to speak English before my whole family, and I did. And so my sister also, Marilyn, and then the work started from there, you know. And then I was like, oh, you know, I heard that you could do some commercials here and there, and I was doing theater in class because that was her helping me how to speak English. And I started going on some like commercial auditions, you know, and then I think finally a couple of auditions, an agent said, okay, I'm gonna send you in this audition, see how it goes. I auditioned 4 times, and then, you know, before you get your last final audition, you know, they make you sign contracts before you get the part, you know?
Uh-oh.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And so I opened the contract, right? And he said that I was gonna make $15,000 for the first episode, and then $10,000 per episode if it went to series. And I looked at that, I was like, it was a joke, right? I looked at my dad, I was like, Dad, this is not, it's like, obviously, this is not, we're not getting this. But I said to my dad, I said, Dad, could you imagine if I get this? How crazy would that be, you know? And my dad said, mijo, if you get it, and my dad always sounded like he was drunk, you know? He was like, mijo, if you get it, very good. If you don't get it, very good. I said, okay, very good. And I went and I auditioned my ass off, and then we went home, and I got a call from my agent that said, hey, they want you to come back tomorrow. And I said, oh my God, you know, this is awesome. Remember the times when you could pick up the phone from the other room and you could still hear what's happening? Yeah, so everybody was in every room listening to it. And finally, he's like, they want you to come back tomorrow. And the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And we started crying. And then I'm telling you, in this moment,
life-changing.
and I'm telling you, this moment in the book was, it took me back. I was bawling in the booth because I was also
I know, I'm
recording
fighting it right now. If you could just stop.
And I just, I looked out the window, and the American flag was waving from the neighbors. The neighbor had the American flag waving, and in that moment, I said, wow, that's it. That's why. That's why everything, you know. And you come, you work really hard. You get up a little earlier than everybody else. You go home after everyone goes home, and this country is going to give you an opportunity that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that was the moment where it all
that as well.
changed. And by the way, a couple of weeks later, then they called me. They're like, they changed the name to that show you just got from Teenage Wasteland to That 70s Show.
Yeah, I mean,
And it was like television show.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's crazy, you know.
It's a nice full circle moment, though. Like, his car was stolen, and now what does he do? What's your dad do?
Oh, my dad? Yeah, I've tried to retire my dad probably twice.
That's his purpose. That's what he loves.
I know, but he's getting up there, and I'm like, Dad, I think you need to chill, enjoy your life, and do what you got to do. But he won't retire, so he's now an Uber driver.
I love
So my dad is in LA just taking people to the airport, and he's like, oh, this is my son, you know? And like, I get tagged with pictures when people are at the airport, like, I'm Wilmer's dad, you know? It's very silly, but
I love that.
But
It's
he gets
nice,
up at 5 in the
proud.
morning and gets it done, you know?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And it's one of those things, too, where he seems like such a person that's naturally a dreamer and wants to like talk to people and connect and things, even how he spoke with you. So that's like really cool what he does.
Yeah, totally.
And to have purpose. I think sometimes when you find out people retire, then they slowly start to just fade. And it's like, you need some kind of purpose.
I agree. No, and my mom is the same little, worker too. She just wants to, she doesn't want to stop either. So that's why I drop off my daughter there all the time. I'm like, go ahead and go raise this one. And,
she's so fun.
Exactly. She loves you. She misses you so much.
No, I have to start with this because you were just in the Dominican Republic, right? And it was for your birthday?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
The sun, the beach, the waves. Did some scuba diving with my wife. It was fantastic.
Full on scuba diving, not snorkeling.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, we're big. We're kind of adventurous. My wife and I. We drove motorcycles through Thailand and Bali when we vacationed there in our younger
I'm
days.
down with that. I just am not down with a wetsuit. Yep.
Really?
Feels like Spanx from hell. Yeah. It's like trying to get it off. I'm like, you pull and I'll pull, and it's.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Those
except
are horrible.
when you're down 40 feet and you don't have it, and you're sitting there going, water's a little colder than what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And you go,
But you know what's great? Snorkeling.
Yeah.
Right up on
Stay
top
on
of
the
the
surface,
water.
right, with the
Bathing
sun.
suit's
Exactly.
fine.
You got
Yeah.
it.
No, that's amazing. But wait, I've done this before, and I saw that you did some archery on your trip, and here's that happening. So this is Go ahead, Braveheart. Okay. Let's see how the arrow ended up. And the fact.
That's not how I remember it. That's
The
not.
fact that you posted it makes me love you so much. Did it get better? Was that your first go, or?
Yeah, it got a little better. But that made me laugh so much. I love putting the pin in the
Oh
the
yeah,
bubble.
yeah, absolutely. I tried it once. I think it was Ireland maybe, and we were all staying at this castle. And we did it, and I thought, oh, this can be so cool. I'm gonna be like Katniss. I tried so hard and was just it's so hard. They make it look so easy in the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. That's a very big talent. Yeah, to be able to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not you, because you didn't nail it, but. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I love that your family, y'all love to travel, right?
Yeah. We're big travelers.
Like the whole family, right?
That was actually in Africa. We were on safari. We saw the gorillas.
Oh, were you up north? Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Rwanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I've never done that. Were you scared?
No, not at all. Except we get there to the little family, right? And it's very few people. I think there were only 8 or 10 of us, because you don't want to stress the gorillas, and you're only there for a short time, right?
You only got to outrun the 9 then. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But my wife, the gorilla saw my wife, and he was like, "You're mine," and he charged my wife. She told me,
What did she do?
I mean, she just froze, and I'm like, I'm like, I didn't know. And anyway, our guides jump in. They know what to do.
Okay.
But
Because
boy,
I've done a safari, but never that. I've done safaris.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the gorillas are an amazing experience, and
friends who-
doing it, and the prices they charge help maintain their habitat and make sure
Yeah.
that it's done correctly, and it helps the locals.
Not too invasive. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know, so I'm going to segue right into your real partner in real life. Is it 30 years? Have y'all been together 30 years?
My
Your
wife?
Yeah. I mean,
What's her name?
is this?
You know what I'm saying.
No, but that's 30 years is a long time.
30 years
yeah.
is a long
Yeah.
time.
Look, I'm just saying. So beautiful. Is she a painter? Is that what
Yeah, that's what she does.
I
That's her-
love that. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to paint.
Yeah, that's my happy space. Her work studio
Yeah.
is my happy space to feel. I know that's how I feel, and I don't even
Yeah.
and I don't even go around like, oh, isn't that special? It should surprise me.
Yeah.
I literally, if I'm like a little, I walk into her creative space.
Yeah.
When she's not even there. And
It disarms you.
Yeah, and I just look at all the paintings, and it just calms me, and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really, and it is an awe moment. It's really nice because I don't really live in that space that
Yeah.
Zen,
like more. Let's talk about our feelings.
I know it's all
I
right.
love
It's
talking
beautiful.
about
It's beautiful.
feelings,
Yeah, so we're about to celebrate our 30th, and I'd love to tell you what I'm trying to cobble together.
That'll
but
ruin it. Don't spoil it. Yeah.
I'll tell you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah, don't spoil it. You played, speaking of Texas, you played high school football. That's intense.
I did.
That's a tough
no,
play.
Texas is...
In Austin, did you know?
Yeah, in Austin.
They don't mess around.
Listen, 5A football in Texas
Yeah.
is the highest class of football.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And, Friday Night Lights is real in Texas.
That was the town over from me. That whole thing
okay.
is about, right next to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, but, it was fun. I learned a lot from playing football and all that, but it is really, really intense in high school.
You learn a lot about humans.
You do.
In the stands.
Exactly.
Like, this is not the Super Bowl. This is,
But people think it is.
Yeah, I am aware. I know all those dads and moms. So what did your daughter think of the movie? Because you play such
She
a badass.
sat next to us at the premiere, which, by the way, I never watch my movies. I don't understand how actors can do that. It's
I don't
just
like watching my
frightening.
performance
Oh,
either.
my
Yeah.
God, it's just frightening. But I sat next to her, and oh, my God, she's crying. She's like, oh, my God. Oh. And then she finally said, Mama, you're goated. You're goated, Mama. You're the goat. Mama, you're the goat.
That's such a cool moment.
No,
She's a teenager, right?
A teenager.
That's
14.
hard to do.
And
Oh,
she
no.
loved the movie. She
Yeah.
loved it.
Because
She
it's
got an eye
great.
roll.
everything about it.
Yeah.
So speaking of your relationship, going back to that, is it 20 years y'all been together? 20th anniversary.
26 years. Coming
What?
up on 20.
Well, 26
Oh,
together. But it's almost
Together.
20, it'll be 22.
22 married.
22 coming up
22
married.
So
in
I
June.
was way off. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So 26 years y'all been
And we've
together.
had 3 wedding ceremonies.
Listen,
you
this woman
afraid
would
the
get
first
married,
couple didn't
Kelly, she
stick,
would
or-
get married every year if I let her.
Really? You love the
I
whole
loved
thing?
it. The first wedding, just 15 people. The second one, 125. It was 85, but I got a country mom who invited people at the bus stop, at the grocery. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Viola, Lori, you ain't seen Lori since you were 8 years old. I invited her, her mama, her brother, her everything. Whole families
Yeah.
came, so it went up to 100. And then I had to have another one after that in California.
Well, just curious, why?
Yeah.
I guess why not? But yeah,
It's romantic.
it is. Okay.
I'm addicted to romance.
I like romance, but that just seems like a lot of
It
hassle.
is a lot. And you know
It's
what I told
never a
her?
hassle. No. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I told her, Kelly? I said, moving forward, we can do the cardboard cutout.
Please do it.
Yeah, just kind of.
I'm the cardboard cutout.
No, he loves it.
Yeah, I love the romance. I just mean it depends on how big of a shindig it's going to be. Because I was like, woo, that's
There's
a lot.
170 people the third
Yeah.
time. It was never a problem.
But you know what's
for
simple
me.
though? But it was simple. She made it really sweet and simple.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
It was simple.
Oh my God. You're Texan. Everything we do is big. Ain't nothing
know.
simple. I was like,
We had everything from sushi to barbecue chicken.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
cornbread.
Yes, and cornbread with honey butter. Okay, so wait, so what did you, I heard you celebrated, was it your 20th anniversary? I think that's where I got confused. You celebrated the 20th anniversary while filming on set, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What did y'all do? You were in Thailand, right? So what did y'all do?
We went to a place called Boshendal.
Yeah, Boshendal.
What do you do there? What's that?
Well, it's just a resort. It's a winery.
Okay.
And it was just beautiful. It was up in the mountains, and it was quiet, and it was
Sexy.
just beautiful.
And roses were all over the floor with
Yeah.
flowers, and
You
Julius
are
sang
And a
to me.
mountain,
You
a mountain
sang?
behind
Yes.
the cabin. So it was like unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Cows.